on Facebook Live.
Yay!
So
this
welcome, Marika, from Mary and me. This rather friendly Friday. I must say the weather wasn't so friendly when I woke up this morning, but today it's a fabulous day. Joining us on our friendly Fridays with the Marketing Lifeline, with like-minded people sharing like-minded things. So thanks so much for taking out the time to join us today. So just before we kick off with the exciting topic about social media, as I guess that is the topic of the day, and quite appropriate being on Facebook too.
Yes, there you go.
I just want to quickly introduce our guest today, Marika Groot from Mary and Me, with a short bio. Marika specializes in branding and visual communication, online strategy, website design, SEO, and social media marketing, with a special interest in usability. With 15 years of publishing experience, she enjoys telling people stories and finding creative solutions to problems. For the past 10 years, she has been focused on digital space and helping clients identify how to best reach their target audience. In 2018, she founded Mary and Me, a creative agency that specializes in creating beautiful marketing solutions through personalized service that cuts out all the fuss and frills and brings good old-fashioned value. That's awesome. So I look forward to it. So thank you again.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So let's talk a little bit about Mary and Me. You know, interesting name. But okay, so your name is not Mary. But tell us a little bit more about the origin of Mary and Me.
So my name is Mary in Dutch. So that's where the Mary comes from. My name means Little Mary. And I founded Mary and Me really, as a lot of other businesses are founded, out of necessity. So it was a moment where I was just sitting there thinking, okay, what am I going to do next? The job that I'm in isn't working out, and I don't really want to go and look for a different one. I've always wanted to do my own things, so this is a perfect opportunity to do it. And I just shut my eyes and jumped, and today we have Mary and Me. We've been going for almost 3 years, so yes, it's been a good and interesting journey.
Awesome. And we survived COVID, so that's been another another awesome accolade. Okay, that's interesting. So where does the Marika then, where Mary and Marika, then what's the relation? Is that the South African translation?
Marika is Dutch for Mary, Little Mary. So that's where Marika comes in. But it just sounds much easier to say Mary and Me than Marika and Me. It's more acceptable. Yeah. And the and me was just really about the collaboration between people, because it was never meant to be a one-sided business venture. It was always meant to be collaboration between clients and myself, or with other people, and making things happen as a team effort.
Awesome. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about this word that's claimed, you know, with the big buzz about it. And what in your words, how would you describe social media, and why is there such a big buzz about it?
Well, social media for me is just really individuals and people as a whole taking the media into their own hands. So instead of waiting for someone in an office to publish some information that we are then going to buy in turn, we've created platforms where we can publish content that we want to read and that we want other people to read or interact with on some level, on a platform that is easily accessible to various different people. So in the same way that we used to have, or we still have, but in the same way that we have newspapers, magazines, TV, radio, cinema, we've created social media platforms that are also aimed at very different audiences and use or portray content in different ways, and to each their own. We all have that one social platform that we enjoy interacting with, or that we enjoy just being a voyeur on and just looking at what other people are posting. And we're basically creating our own media feed through social media by selecting who we want to hear from, who we want to follow, what the pieces of information are that we want to be consuming, what are our interests, our hobbies, and who are the people that we admire. And we just take it into our own hands to create what we would in the old days have, gone out and bought a magazine that someone else decided this is what would interest you, and I'm going to put it on a page. Now we're just taking that with the advent of technology, we can create that for ourselves. So that's really what social media is. It's just the majority of people prefer this type of content, and now that's what we're seeing.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I think for me, why there's definitely a big fuss about it is because it's so much more cost effective than using the traditional forms of media, as we've spoken about. But I think also with traditional, even now, I mean, who watches adverts anymore? There are so many options for us that we no longer need that, or we can just skip it, as we do. So so I absolutely like the way you've described it. It's almost social because it's kind of determined by you and what you want to see. Because absolutely, as with these algorithms, that's what happens, doesn't it? So yeah, wonder why people get mad about only seeing certain things. That's how it goes.
Yes, we influence the algorithm as much as we complain about it. It's majority driven, and it's what works for the majority. So it is going to take some time for you to learn how to interact with this platform so that you can see what you want to see. But it's still a million times more entertaining and engaging than buying some or other form of media and being interested in only a quarter of what's in there. So that's why it's so effective in terms of marketing, is because we are highly engaged on social media, where we've become highly disengaged with other traditional platforms. So you mentioned we don't watch adverts anymore, because most of us, if we do watch TV, we do have some sort of option to skip them, or to go to a different channel and watch something else while the adverts are playing. The majority of us, we are now Netflix obsessed, and we don't have to deal with any adverts on Netflix, other than Netflix.
Until that changes too. Well, let's not go there.
Exactly.
Never say never.
Exactly.
Okay, so obviously there's that question about, do I need to be on social media? Who needs to be on social media? Which platforms? That's obviously a whole nother conversation. But do you believe that some businesses do better on social media than others? And why do you believe so?
I think all businesses do well on social media as long as they choose the right platform. So this is where it becomes really important to understand what each platform is designed to do and who is using it. So if you are on Facebook, which is the majority of us, we have some sort of liking for Facebook. This is what we call our lounge, and where we invite people into our lounge and we have a chat, and we're sharing things that are happening in our personal lives and in our business lives very easily on Facebook. And we are highly engaged in marketing attempts on social media, or on Facebook specifically, because it falls into what we are so comfortable with and having our friends around us. But for the majority of business to business businesses, LinkedIn is a better option, because this is where people are focused on the business side of things and are strictly focused on engaging with other businesses, or with business people, like-minded people. And then you might find that other people or other companies do well on Instagram because they're high visual. Some companies do great on TikTok because that is their demographic. So I believe that you can do well on social media regardless of what type of business you are in, as long as you choose the right platform.
Yeah, agree. Don't just do it because it's something you enjoy. If it's the right thing for your business, absolutely. I think I agree. Every business has its place. So now we come to the tips. What are some of the tips that you can give us to use social media effectively?
So the first and most important things in terms of using social media effectively is something that you will be very familiar with, and that is designing your customer persona and understanding who it is that you want to reach through social media. And this is where business to consumer and business to business becomes very important, because unless you know exactly who you're talking to, it's going to be very difficult to effectively reach them on whatever platform and with whatever message you have. So the first tip is to start at the beginning, and I'm sure that this is what you do with your clients as well, is defining that all-important customer persona, who it is that we want to reach and why it is that we want to reach them. And then the next point would be to identify that person or persons or business's pain points, and focus your marketing efforts, the conversations that you are having, on those pain points. Most of us, when we're engaging on social media, it's for our own pleasure or our own education or information. So we want to have those things in our social feeds that speak directly to us. We don't want the blanket message that's aimed at hundreds and thousands of people, because we more and more understand that we are not like 100,000 other people. Yeah. We've got very, very individualized wants and needs, and it's becoming so important on social media to niche right down and speak to those very specific wants and needs of very specific customers.
Yes.
And then my last tip would be to keep at it. The most important thing in marketing, once you've got these two things sorted, is being consistent. And it's when we stop being consistent that we stop being effective. And the longer you do it, the more patterns you will start identifying, the more you will have data to crunch and understand who is interacting with your message and how you can improve things. But if you disappear, then no one's going to see you. And if you only appear inconsistently, the algorithms are going to work against you. So consistency is key, and it's key to have that infrastructure set up to have a consistent message across whichever social media platforms you decide to use. Yes.
Yeah, that's actually a key point I just want to add, is that I think a lot of people also assume once you're on social media, people are going to start seeing you and you're going to get noticed and your page likes are going to boom and you're going to get lots of engagement. And it isn't really the case. I always tell my clients nothing less than 3 months, but actually statistically between 4 to 7 months of being consistent actually will only give you the results to start being noticed, getting your page engaged and getting the likes you want. So it actually is quite a long process. One can't think that just being on social media now everyone's going to be knocking on their door. So patience is a virtue.
That's not going to work.
And okay, let's be honest, budget can help, but it's not always necessary. It's sometimes just being smart, like you say, identifying your audience, putting out the right message and just being consistent. So
yes, and you've alluded to this previously, that it is so much more cost effective to use social media than our traditional media platforms, because there is so much that we can do ourselves and that we don't have to pay someone for. So yes, it is a much more cost-effective strategy, but it's also a way more labor-intensive strategy. So those two things sometimes do translate to it. Costs pretty much the same, but yes,
in energy,
it's blood, sweat, and tears and energy.
Well, just don't give up. Hey, I think just continue believing, and as some of us do.
Absolutely.
I've got a like, I've got a comment, I've got another page like.
Yes, fantastic.
You know,
and go and do the work and understand, why did you get that like? Why did you get that comment? What was it that you did right? Who was the person that did it? So that you can create that recipe that works for you.
Absolutely. So why do you believe that social media is key to like the larger marketing strategy to help businesses grow? I mean, obviously we've got a whole lot of other elements that we do within the marketing strategy, but why do you feel, from your experience, social media is so important?
I think it's going to become more and more that we start ignoring these other forms of media, where we are, as consumers, just so overwhelmed with media around us that we block things out, and that we start ignoring things that used to get our attention, because there's just so much happening. But when we go into our social media feed, and when we're focusing on ourselves, and it's a little bit of me time, and it's for our own enjoyment or our own benefit, we are much more highly engaged, and the chances of us engaging with a piece of marketing or advertising content is just so much higher. And I don't think that that's going to change anytime soon. It's just going to become more important.
Yeah, more and more prevalent, and so harder for us, but that's okay. That's why we're here as smart people, to guide our clients with the right strategies, getting the right information, and putting out the right stuff. Because too often, I'm sure you know, people, like you said, like the blanket approach, putting out all their products and services on the internet because they believe in their products and services, which is great. But unfortunately, now we need to think, why does the customer really need it? And start addressing those pain points in your message.
And put yourself in their shoes. You know, if I'm going to hire a helicopter and just throw flyers out the window, flyers and business cards, and hope that they land in the laps of the right people.
Yeah.
Wow, what a costly exercise to get those flyers printed, to get them designed in the first place, to hire the helicopter, to take that time and throw them, and then just hope that someone picks it up that's actually going to phone me.
Yeah.
And that's really what the blanket approach is at the end of the day, just, you know, putting it out there and hoping it clicks with someone. Exactly. So niching down and understanding your customer and how to get in touch with them is just going to become more and more important. And that's why we need people like you to help us understand who that person is and what they are engaging with, and on what level they are engaging with, so that we can be there in that space.
Yeah, it's a hard one, because customers don't like to niche. You know, they want everyone and anybody as their clients. So when you start having that conversation about, we need to niche, we need to identify, you know, I think, as you say, going forward, it will probably be more prevalent and people will accept it more. But yeah, it's quite difficult to convince clients that we're only going to be focusing on X market and X personality or X job title. But it's the most effective results, absolutely, because now you can create that message for that specific person in mind. I mean, what not better option to do than, like you say, just putting out a message that may be relevant to anybody and somebody. Awesome. Thank you, Marika. That was...
We've known for a while.
Yeah. Right, okay. No, go on.
So I was going to say, we've known for a while that direct marketing is the most effective way of marketing. And social media is becoming that platform to do direct marketing. And that's what we really need to bring across to our clients, is just, this is the new way of doing direct marketing.
Absolutely. And with the abilities that you guys have to target, you know, so if we brief you with a very specific audience, I mean, we have the ability to target, you know, exactly that audience that we want to talk to. So it's, yeah, it's a fantastic place to be, but yes, at the same time, be smart about it, be consistent, and also be patient. It takes time.
Yes, 100%.
Thank you. Thanks so much again, Marika, for joining us on this Friendly Friday. It's been awesome having you.
Welcome.
I know we engage on a weekly basis, but
Thank
thanks
you
for joining me. And yeah, and then next week we'll be joined by Kyle Marburg from Confidence by Design, talking about presentation skills to win your customers over. So please, if you did enjoy this interview, please share, or at least give us a nice comment, say hi. And yeah, just thanks again to you, Marika, for joining me. And I'll see everybody then again next week, same time, same place. Cheers for now. Bye.
Thanks, Megan.
Pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.